Hello there, welcome to Tech and Cash. I hope you are doing well. So today we are going to do another starting hands exercise where I'm going to look at a few starting hand and just kind of share my thoughts and my general strategy on how I pick my starting hand. So if you're watching this, you can kind of play along as well and think about what birds you would pick or keep and how you would play them. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So when I'm looking at my starting hand, I definitely look out for birds that can play in the wetland and the forest in early game, because those are the habitat that you're going to activate a lot in early game to gain card and gain food. So any bird with brown power that help you to gain more resources is very useful. So for example, the white-backed woodpecker, you can play in the forest to gain extra food. So that's quite good. And then I think the corn door is kind of underrated. It's quite good as well because it doesn't cost you any food. You can play it, you gain bonus card, and it can help you to build out your forest and your wetland and help you with gaining resources. So I quite like the corn door. And like I say, it's always good to have a birds that you can play in the wetland in early game so that you can gain card more efficiently. So in this case, I'm looking at maybe the Eleanor's Falcon. It costs 2 food, but you get 6 points and a brown power that you can potentially gain an egg. It's probably not going to be super reliable, but still, if it work out, it can be quite good. Birds that I definitely not going to consider are like the woodpecker. It costs 2 food, but the power, it doesn't give you any brown power. It only helps with the end of round go here, which, it's not what you should be focused on in early game. I think gaining resources is probably more important. The gold crest is kind of interesting. So you get to discard card from your hand to play another bird in your forest. It could be quite good in certain situation where you have extra cards. It can really help to build up your forest really quickly in early game, but I would say it can be kind of hard to play if you don't have that card sources that you can use to discard. So in any case, let's say for the bonus card, we have the wetland scientist or large bird specialist. So in this case, I'll look at what card that I'm keeping. Looks like I will be like potentially playing quite a few birds with greater than 65 centimeter wingspan. So kind of leaning toward large bird here. And then of course you have to check out the tray as well and see what's available. The tray has a couple interesting options as well. The Wilson snipe is quite good. Another bird to watch out for in early game that only costs 1 food, give you 5 points, and a great brown power because if you play in the wetland, when you activate it, you can gain extra cards. So potentially thinking about picking up the Wilson snipe here. And yeah, I guess another things I was considering as well, could I be using the gold crest to build up my forest instead of using the corn door as my second forest bird? So I can really go gold crest and then activate my gold crest to get down woodpecker, and then I would have 2 birds in the forest, which is quite good. And then for the wetland option, I'm thinking the Wilson snipe, maybe picking up the Wilson snipe in early game. Yeah, I think with all things considered, I think I might keep this 4 birds here. Again, the plan is pick up the Wilson snipe, and then use the gold crest to build up my forest, then I'll have a really strong access to food. So in that case, I should be easily to gain the food. I should have an easy access to food to pay for the Eleanor Falcon and my snipe here. It's a pretty greedy start. Is you know, you don't usually keep 4 birds, but I think it might work out here. So I would like to give this a try here. So I'm gonna stick with my plan here, and then let's take a look at the second hand here. So all right, quite an interesting starting hand as well. Again, I'm looking for birds that only cost 1 food, that's easy to play. So for example, the Carolina Wren here, I can play in the forest, so that help me to build my forest, but at the same time, I can gain 2 cards, so that's quite a good starting birds. Another bird that I'm looking at is maybe the California quail. It can be quite good if you play in the forest. That can help you to gain egg while you're gaining food, even though it is quite expensive for 3 food here. Let's see what my bonus card. Pedestrian Manager Omnivore. I think typically for bonus card, the type that give you 2 points per bird are usually better, so I'll probably go with the Omnivore here. Birds I'm not looking to keep are like the Blue Wing Warbler. It's 2 grub for 8 points, sounds like a pretty good value, but it doesn't give you any power, so it really doesn't help you to set up your game in the early game. Don't quite like that. The Waxwing is interesting. You can tuck cards and gain cherry. I think it's only useful if you know you have a really strong generation of cards that you can afford to tuck, but otherwise I'm not looking at keeping it. Like I say, it's always important to have a wetland bird to help you with your card draw. So in this case, potentially the barn owl that you can play in the wetland. Not a great hunting power, but again, just a filler bird for the wetland. It does cost 2 rodent for 5 points. Not great value, but I might compromise and keep the barn owl here. Or alternatively, I can really gamble with the wren and hope that I gain a good wetland bird when I draw. So I think that might be what I would do. Gamble with the wren. I can always pick up the turtle dove as well, because it can live in any habitat, so I can play the dove as my wetland bird as well. So definitely keeping the wren here. Another question is whether I keep the California quail here. Again, getting egg in forest is quite good, but I think there has been a lot of discussion on the quail, and the conclusion is kind of mixed. I think for the amount of food that you invest in the quail, it doesn't always quite work out. So if you know what I mean, for example, if I want to play the quail, I have to gain a grain, which there is a grain to play the quail, and then play it to gain bird here, or to gain eggs here. But I think I'm willing to give it a try here. It might work out here to help me to build up my forest, to help me gain extra food. So all right, so let's play a couple turns here and see how this game is gonna play out. So like I say, I'm gonna pick up the Wilson snipe here because it's quite a good bird. And it's gonna help me with my card draw and maybe with the first end of round goal here as well. So all right, the coated is quite good. The question is, should I pick it up now? I guess I can always use the Carolina Wren to pick up the coated, so I think I might do that. So I'm looking at maybe picking up the turtle dove and the coated, so I can play the turtle dove in the wetland as my wetland bird, and then the coated for the forest. It could be, but I'm not sure if I need both the coated and the California quill. And another thing about picking up birds from the tray is you have to consider the risk of revealing better cards for your opponent as well. So revealing, like picking up 2 cards and revealing 2 cards is quite risky. So I think I'm gonna stick with the California quill here and maybe look at one of the cards from the deck. All right, the yellow-headed blackbird is not bad, can work. So now I have a wetland bird that I can play. So do I still want the turtle dove or the coated? I think I'm gonna go with the coated here so that I can gain extra. Oh, you cannot. Oh, you can spend the grain. So I think the extra food is gonna help to get some of these birds out, especially they all consume grain. All right, the bullfinch. So back to here, I don't really need the bullfinch because once I get the woodpecker out, I'm gonna have quite a good access to food in my forest. All right, here, I think I'm gonna lay eggs to get my coated out instead of trying to wait for my quill because that's gonna take quite a while. So, and I already have the food to play the coated, so I can live with that. So I want to get the woodpecker out by activating my gold crest, so I can discard 1 card to play another bird. But before that, I'll need to have eggs, so I'm gonna lay eggs here. And then play the coated. And all right, so yeah, the gold crest here, again, the goal is to get the woodpecker out. So yeah, so I can really pick any food. So I'm thinking like if I leave the grub and the rodent, I can use it to play my falcon and the snipe here, so that can be quite good. So I'm gonna use the cherry here, discard the corn door so that I can play my woodpecker. Yeah. So the gold crest power is quite good here because typically you have to pick food and then use another turn to play the woodpecker. So that's 2 turns. But with the gold crest, you get to play the woodpecker in 1 turn instead. So you're saving 1 turn here, which can be quite huge. All right, so with that, I guess I'm looking at picking up food to play either the quill or the yellow-headed blackbird here. So, and then back to here again, I'm gaining food to play some of this bird, and I have exactly the food that I need. I needed 2 grub, and there are 2 grubs, so this is working out quite well. I'll be skipping the gold crest here because I have no forest bird to play. Alright, so now the question is, do I want to play the quill or the blackbird? I think I should probably get the blackbird down early so that I can start looking at, start digging for cards that's useful to help me to set up my game. The quill is nice, but I don't feel like it's urgent for me to gain eggs right now. Especially if I play the blackbird, I can tuck cards and gain eggs as well. So going to play the blackbird here. And all right, so again, this is just playing out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play out the first round and see how it ends up. So, and then now I can start thinking for cards. So I guess another interesting card to consider here is the yellow hammer. So the yellow hammer, if you use all 4 type of action in that round, so you activate each habitat and play bird, you get to play another bird for free by paying the food and the egg. I'm wondering if it's worth it, because if I draw cards now, I would have activated 3 habitat, but I only have 3 turns. So I draw, I still have to play the yellow hammer, and probably gain food. I don't think I would have enough turn to make good use of the yellow hammer, because I need bird cards, I need food, and I need to play the yellow hammer. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna work out. So I draw this, draw food, play yellow hammer. So yeah. So I guess I'm going to dig for card from the deck, potentially maybe picking up the turtle dove, because the turtle dove is nice. You get the flexibility of either getting food, eggs, or card. In this case, my card draw is quite bad, so I might be looking into using the turtle dove to gain more cards. But I'm definitely spending 1 egg here. Oh, the killdeer. Of course, this is very nice. Again, one of the strongest bird in the game, so you can exchange 1 egg for two cards. And I would say for the killdeer, the best habitat to play is typically in the grassland, because in that case you are gaining cards and you're gaining eggs at the same time. So in that case, if I have the killdeer, I don't really need the turtle dove anymore, so I'm going to dig for 1 more cards here. The wagtail, again, it's another bird that allows you to play 2 birds, or play a additional bird at the end of the round if you spend all 4 actions. Not sure if I'm going to make it. Not sure if I want to keep the quill here, but definitely for sure I'm not going to use the wagtail, because once I have the killdeer to gain card, I won't be using my wetlands, so I think I'm going to tuck that. Back to here, just playing Wilson Snipe. And I think for the rest of the turn here, it's just gaining food and flesh out the quill and the killdeer here. It's questionable whether I should play the quill in the grassland. It's kind of nice because you generate this egg from quill, and then you can use your killdeer to spend the egg to exchange for cards. And I think that might be what I would do, especially I have quite a little bit of egg spots here with the coated and Carolina Wren, so I don't really have to worry too much about filling up my egg spots. So, and then on the other hand, you know, this is a pretty nice setup as well. For this board here, I have a very nice setup for the wetland. So when I activate my wetland to gain card, I can gain 2 cards, and then I can choose whether to activate this to gain extra cards and give everyone else card, and then potentially gain an egg when I activate my falcon as well. And then with a strong card draw, maybe that can help me to flash out more birds in the forest when I'm activating my gold crest. The only thing I would worry about is, you know, having enough eggs to play those extra birds. So yeah, overall I think I'm quite happy with how both board turn out. Here, very nice wetland setup, very strong forest. That's always good in early game, to have strong access to both resources. And then in terms of this board, of course, I drew the killdeer, so that's really gonna set me up to gain cards using the grassland in the future rounds. But at the same time, I also have quite a strong forest setup already, so I can gain food more efficiently to help me to play the birds that I drew with the killdeer. So overall, that was a pretty good game. Well, I think I'm gonna pause here. I hope you enjoy watching this video, and let me know, what do you think of some of the decisions that I make here? Is there anything you would have done differently? Feel free to share them in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.